Scientists know that when it comes to earthquakes in Southern California, it's not a matter of if, but when.
We know, for example, that the very high probability that in the next 10 years there will be a big earthquake in California, because California is a big state with lots of faults, and we know we have earthquakes fairly frequently, so that's a pretty good bet.
And that's a bet you should be prepared for. Survivors know that earthquakes can be terrifying.
The main thing in my head was that this was so awful we were all going to die.
So terrifying that it's easy to make bad decisions when the ground starts shaking. Running is one of them.
My son must have been 10 at the time. I not only wanted to run, I wanted to run to my son's room, because it sounds so dramatic, but I was so sure we were all going to die that I literally did not want him to die alone. And came running through here to get to Christopher's room, which is this room here, and fell probably in here somewhere. So in my run, in the dark, I stepped on a fallen picture, and it went out from underneath my feet, and I landed on my cheek and on my shoulder.
10-year-old Christopher was fine. In fact, he was asleep by the time his mother crawled into his room. Diane, however, was not.
I took an x-ray. My shoulder was broken in 3 places. My cheek was not broken. My cheekbone was not broken, but the shoulder was broken.
I can tell you every single thought I had that morning. Just like they say your life goes across you when you're dying, that's how it was. It was like a slow-speeded film that I was going through, and I can tell you every step I took, every thought I had in the process. And that probably saved me from more serious injury, because I wasn't just terror running. And I think that's when you can get in big trouble.
You should never run outside during an earthquake. There are a number of reasons for that. One is many of the injuries that result from an earthquake are people running while the ground is shaking. And then you fall down, you run into furniture that has moved into your way, you run across broken glass that's on the ground. People twist their ankles, break their legs, just trying to run around for what? To get to a doorway, which is no safer, really. The other problem with running outside, particularly if you're in an older building or maybe in a business area, is that there's glass breaking, falling into the street. There may be bricks and other signs and things falling down, which would hit you if you're running outside and on the sidewalk. But if you stay inside, you're probably better off, more protected.
So that's what you shouldn't do during an earthquake. But what should you do when the ground starts shaking?
All these questions that you have, go home and think about those questions. What would I do if this happened? What would I do if this happened? I like that.
So if you're in an earthquake, what you want to do is you want to stay where you are. You want to drop, you want to cover under a table and hold on to the leg of a table. And that will keep things from falling on top of you.
What are those 3 words we want to remember during an earthquake?
Drop, cover, hold on. I think the more prepared you are for the quake, the more you think it out. Pretend one day, okay, we're having an earthquake right now, and put yourself in the process of doing what you need to do to get out of your house. Practice.
Are you ready? Are you ready on my left? Yes! Are you ready on my right? Yes! Okay. All of a sudden, this building starts to shake it. We say, drop, cover, and hold on.
Everybody has their little special thing they want to keep, and that you need to protect. And the rest of it is just stuff. Your life is the most important thing.